Welcome to my channel Limelight Leaks. Please share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for latest updates. From the very first show of Iron Resurrection, Amanda Martin was special. She didn't need fancy tools or loud talking to stand out. She was calm and steady, and that helped everyone in the shop. Amanda was the business manager, which means she made sure everything ran smoothly. She handled tight deadlines, dealt with difficult customers, and organized all the messy stuff at Martin Brothers' garage. She did all this while staying calm and confident. Fans really liked her. They admired how smart she was and how professional she acted. She brought order to a place full of grease, fire, and fast car builds. The shop had big personalities and custom cars everywhere, but Amanda was like the calm spot in a storm. Joe Martin was the amazing builder and Shag was the funny guy, but Amanda was like an anchor that kept everything steady. She calculated budgets, balanced logistics, and made sure every custom car was finished on time and done right. She handled the business side of the garage with the same care Joe used when welding. People who worked there said Amanda was even more important when the cameras weren't rolling. She kept the shop running, made sure bills got paid, and kept the team working together. Fans connected with her in a quiet but strong way. She didn't want to be the star, but when she talked, people listened. She wasn't trying to be a TV star. She was a real shop manager, and her quiet strength was different. For many people watching the show, Amanda was someone to look up to. She was a woman doing well in a job mostly done by men, and she didn't have to change who she was to succeed. But as the seasons went by, something changed. Amanda appeared on screen less and less. She seemed quieter and more pulled back. Fans started wondering if something was wrong behind the scenes. They didn't know it yet, but Amanda was fighting a really hard battle away from the cameras. It had nothing to do with hot rods and everything to do with people she loved. When Iron Resurrection started its 4th season, longtime fans noticed something weird. Amanda Martin wasn't showing up as much. Some episodes barely had her in them at all. And when she did appear, her usual energy seemed dimmed. It wasn't just that she was missing that got people talking. It was how different the energy felt. The woman who used to confidently handle shop schedules and big money deals now seemed quieter and more distant. Reddit threads, YouTube comments, and fan groups were buzzing with guesses. Was Amanda having a fight with the rest of the crew? Was she burned out? Or was it something more serious? Behind the scenes, Amanda was facing something unimaginable. Someone very close to her, a family member not a crew member, had been told they had a life-changing illness. The kind of news that makes your world stop. It wasn't public knowledge. There were no press releases, no social media updates. She kept it quiet out of respect for her loved one's privacy and because she needed to hold it together. But while viewers saw less of her on screen, Amanda was quietly dealing with emotional and physical exhaustion behind it all. The stress never stopped. One day, she was helping design a 6-figure custom rebuild. The next day, she was sitting in a hospital room holding a loved one's hand. She never complained, never asked for special treatment. But the toll was building up. And not just mentally. Crew members later said they noticed her looking physically drained. Like the weight of 2 lives, the one in the shop and the one at home, was becoming too much to carry. And yet, she kept showing up, filming, working, smiling. It's easy to forget that reality TV, even when it's real, doesn't always tell the whole truth. What the audience missed was Amanda juggling a full-time job in one of America's busiest custom shops, while also being a full-time caregiver, support system, and emotional pillar in her personal life. The cracks were forming, but not from weakness, from holding up too much for too long. The real story wasn't in the garage. It was in the phone calls, the long drives to doctors, and the quiet moments Amanda spent trying to hold back tears so no one at the shop would notice. Her loved one's diagnosis had come without warning, blindsiding her and shaking everything she thought was stable. Suddenly, car deadlines and custom paint jobs didn't feel like priorities. They felt like distractions from a much deeper worry eating at her every day. Amanda didn't want anyone's sympathy. That wasn't her style. She didn't even tell most of the crew what was happening at first. In her mind, the show had to go on, and she wasn't going to be the reason the shop slowed down. But when you're stretched between two full-time jobs, one being the face of a nationally aired reality show and the other being the anchor for a loved one in crisis, something eventually has to give. Friends who were close to Amanda say she barely slept during this time. She would leave the shop late at night and go straight to a hospital room or home. Her mind was in two places at once, all the time. When she was at work, she felt guilty for not being home. When she was at home, she felt guilty for stepping back from the business. It was a no-win situation. And through it all, the cameras kept rolling. Episodes needed to be filmed. Deals needed to be closed. Fans were waiting. But Amanda began to realize that no matter how much she tried to keep it together, something had to change or she was going to burn out completely. She didn't want to walk away from the shop, but something inside her said, "You can't keep this up much longer." For the first time in her career, Amanda Martin started seriously thinking about stepping away for good. Amanda Martin had always taken pride in doing things right. Whether it was managing inventory, handling budgets, or smoothing out tense client interactions, she loved being responsible. She wasn't just passionate about the car world. She was passionate about the process, the people, and the pride of finishing a job well done. But now her personal life was demanding more than just her attention. It needed her full presence, and that created an impossible choice. Stepping away from Iron Resurrection wasn't just about leaving a job. It meant walking away from something she helped build, from a team that had become family, from fans who looked up to her. But every time she stayed late at the shop, she felt guilty. And every time she rushed home to care for her loved one, she felt like she was letting the team down. It was a painful loop. Love in two directions with no room left for herself. Privately, Amanda began having conversations with Joe. Could she take time off? Should she walk away altogether? Joe, always more than just a business partner, listened. He told her what she needed to hear, not as a boss, but as a husband. Whatever you need to do, we'll figure it out. That gave her a little breathing room, but not answers. Amanda wasn't sure if this was temporary or permanent. She just knew she couldn't keep pretending everything was fine. Even the crew started noticing. Her eyes, once laser-focused on deadlines and bottom lines, now drifted. She was quieter, less involved in joking around. No longer the calm and the chaos, but the storm brewing beneath it. She didn't want a dramatic goodbye. She didn't want an announcement. Amanda just wanted peace. And if that meant leaving Iron Resurrection, she was almost ready to do it. There was a moment, just one, that Amanda Martin nearly made the call. Not to producers, not to the press, just a quiet, personal decision to leave Iron Resurrection for good. No fanfare, no episode farewell. She didn't want attention. She didn't want drama. She just wanted to disappear and focus on what truly mattered, her family. During the middle of a season, with production still happening, Amanda reportedly told Joe she couldn't do it anymore. She was exhausted not just from the long days and tough builds, but from the emotional tightrope she walked every minute. At one point, she even began writing a letter she never sent. One that thanked the fans, the crew, and the shop, but explained that her priorities had shifted. Her plan was simple. Step away, quietly with no one needing to cover for her or make a storyline out of her absence. The builds would go on. The shop would survive, but Amanda would be somewhere else, hopefully finding peace. Those closest to Amanda said her decision was nearly final. She'd stop responding to non-essential calls. She pulled back from her usual duties and let others take the lead. People in the shop could sense it. Something had changed. Even Joe knew. He didn't pressure her. He didn't ask her to stay. Instead, he simply listened. That space, without demands or deadlines, might have saved everything. But as Amanda stared at the reality of leaving, something tugged at her. It wasn't ego or guilt. It was love. Love for the shop. Love for the people who worked beside her. Love for the process of bringing rusted metal back to life. It was the thing that had kept her grounded before everything went sideways. And even though she wasn't ready to return full speed, she wasn't quite ready to say goodbye either. Amanda paused. She didn't quit, but she came close. Closer than fans will ever truly know. While Amanda was silently struggling with the biggest decision of her work life, the rest of the Iron Resurrection crew was mostly in the dark. To them, Amanda was still showing up, even if less often, and still doing what she always did best, keeping things organized and on track. But what they didn't see was how much she was hiding behind that calm face. She had mastered the art of the brave face. She still walked into the shop with a cup of coffee and a to-do list. She still talked timelines and budgets. But in the quiet moments when no one was watching, Amanda would sneak off to take emotional phone calls or wipe tears from her eyes in the privacy of her office. Crew members would later say they had no idea how bad things really were because Amanda never let it show. It wasn't until a particular day off camera, during what was supposed to be a routine planning session, that the truth began to come out. Amanda broke down. Not dramatically, not loudly, just a quiet moment where the walls finally cracked. A few words turned into tears, and that was when everyone around her realized she was barely holding it together. The shop stopped that day. Joe pulled her aside. The team stepped in to cover her duties. It wasn't about filming anymore. It was about support. People who had worked with Amanda for years, who had never seen her break, suddenly realized just how strong she'd been. She wasn't struggling because she was weak. She was struggling because she'd carried more than anyone knew. From that moment on, the shop changed. Schedules became more flexible. Expectations were adjusted. Everyone from Joe to the newest worker rallied behind her. Because Amanda wasn't just a cast member. She was the heart of Martin Brothers. And it was time to give that heart a break. Joe Martin has always played it cool, the quiet boss with artistic vision and a calm hand under pressure. But when Amanda nearly walked away from Iron Resurrection, his response wasn't scripted for TV. It was real, immediate, and deeply human. Joe knew something was wrong long before Amanda said it out loud. The long silences, the moments she stayed at her desk instead of joining the team, the exhaustion in her eyes. But Joe didn't push her. He waited. And when the dam finally broke, he didn't try to convince her to stay. He didn't talk about deadlines or ratings. He didn't remind her how much the show needed her. Instead, he said 4 words that changed everything. Whatever you need, Amanda. In that moment, the boss became the partner. Joe offered her time, space, freedom. If she needed to step away, he would make it work. If she wanted to quit, he'd support it. And if she came back, it would be on her terms. No pressure, no expectations, just love and loyalty. Those close to the couple say Joe went even further behind the scenes. He changed filming schedules. He protected Amanda from unnecessary meetings. He made sure she had everything she needed. Joe's quiet support gave Amanda something no paycheck or episode ever could. Permission to be vulnerable, to put herself first, to take care of what mattered most. And that's what may have saved not just Amanda, but Iron Resurrection itself. When Amanda Martin finally returned to Iron Resurrection, it wasn't with cameras blazing or a dramatic speech. There was no big announcement, no social media splash. She just walked back into the shop, quietly, confidently. But this time, things were different. Her return wasn't about getting her old job back. It was about redefining it. Amanda set boundaries, fewer hours, clearer responsibilities. She focused on the parts of the job she loved. Connecting with customers, organizing builds, and keeping the team on schedule while stepping back from the energy-draining tasks that once stretched her thin. It was a move that took strength, not ego. And it showed everyone watching on and off camera that self-care wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. The crew welcomed her back without hesitation. The vibe in the shop shifted subtly but meaningfully. Amanda wasn't just back. She was back with purpose. She brought a new kind of energy, more deliberate, more present. Not because she had to be there, but because she chose to be. Fans noticed the difference, too. In later episodes, Amanda appeared more grounded, even more genuine. Her screen time might have dropped slightly, but her impact felt bigger than ever. Viewers weren't just watching a co-host. They were watching someone who had stared burnout and heartbreak in the face and come back stronger. Amanda's quiet return became a powerful statement that being strong doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and sometimes it walks back through the same door, but this time on its own terms. For months, maybe years, Amanda Martin stayed silent about her near exit. She didn't tweet mysterious messages. She didn't do interviews. She let the rumors swirl, without feeding the noise. And for a while, fans assumed she just had scheduling issues or needed a short break. But one day, she finally spoke. And when she did, it wasn't for attention. It was for clarity and compassion. In a rare sit-down during a fan Q&A at a car show, Amanda addressed the whispers. I wasn't okay. I had to put family first. That's really all it was. Her voice didn't crack. Her eyes didn't tear up. But the message hit hard. Because, for the first time, she peeled back the curtain. Not to explain herself, but to remind fans that even reality stars have real lives, real heartbreaks, real choices to make. She didn't name names or give graphic details. Instead, she focused on what the experience taught her. That sometimes stepping away is an act of strength, not giving up, and that healing isn't always straight. It takes time, space, support. Amanda also talked about the love she received from fans who'd reached out during her absence. Letters, emails, quiet gestures of concern. I felt all of it, she said, even when I wasn't sure I'd come back. Her decision to finally speak wasn't about setting the record straight. It was about offering something bigger. A sense of togetherness. A message to anyone struggling. You're not alone. And it's okay to pause the grind to take care of your heart. Amanda Martin's near departure from Iron Resurrection didn't end with a dramatic showdown or some network executive begging her to stay. It ended like most things in Amanda's life, with quiet strength and a clear sense of purpose. She came back to the show, yes, but more importantly, she came back to herself. She realized that the builds, the deadlines, the TV show, all of it could wait. Family couldn't. Health couldn't. And neither could her peace of mind. The final scenes of this emotional journey aren't about cars. They're about perspective. Amanda now advocates for mental health and balance, quietly, but powerfully through example. She doesn't give speeches. She just lives the message. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You just have to be true to yourself. One quote from Amanda sticks with fans long after the episode fades. The builds can wait, but the people you love, they can't. It's not just a line. It's a legacy. One Amanda didn't build with a welder or wrench, but with courage. And for that, she'll always be more than just the woman behind the front desk. She'll be the heart that helped Iron Resurrection survive its hardest chapter.